Hey y'all! In this video, you will learn a few different techniques and stretches you can do to hopefully relieve sciatic pain if you have it. We'll start with a little massage and move into the stretches. What you'll need is some sort of ball. This can be a tennis ball. I have a softball here. You may want to start with a ball that's softer. This is a pretty hard ball. So, a kid's ball, a squishy ball that you can get at the drugstore or Dollar General or whatever. You may want to start with something like that, but, whatever you have. So, first, you're going to lie down. So, let's say my sciatic pain is on my right. And you just take your ball and kind of move around, and you can do the massage by moving your knees back and forth. You might lift your leg. You can also do this if you have trouble getting up and down off the floor. You can do this standing with the ball against the wall. But you can see I'm just kind of moving my hips to explore where the muscles are tight. If you have severe sciatica, this may be too painful. But with a softer ball, it may not. It might be okay. But if you're feeling sharp pain or if it's way too painful, then of course, don't do it. And getting a real massage from a licensed massage therapist is, that's the best. Okay, so this is number one, and I can feel a tight muscle there. So, what you don't want to do is linger. Like, you don't want to find that muscle and then just press. You want to keep moving, because that can actually trigger the muscle to contract if you just press. This can be too hard. And if you're moving, it'll increase circulation and you'll get more benefit from the massage, the ball massage. Down. And you might do this before you get out of bed in the morning. Keeping your feet together, bring your arms out to the side, and you're just letting the knees shift from side to side. Simple. 5, 8, 9, 10 times to each side. And you can do this the way I am, or you can pause, take a breath, breathe out back to center, switch to the other side, pause, take a breath. And back to center. So it just slows it down a little bit. Yeah, and you don't have to limit it to a certain number of times. The more you do it, the better you're going to feel. So even if you go to each side 20 times, at first you might feel stiff and it may feel a little uncomfortable, but by by the 10th time on each side, you'll probably feel you're loosening up a little bit. This is a really good one. All right. Right, you're just moving your body, and this back and forth to massage that muscle. And you can, you can move down your leg to release the iliotibial band, which is actually not really releasing the IT, but there is a muscle there, the tensor fascia lata, and the outer quadriceps. So you can explore that. You can also massage your back that way. Okay, so next is a big toe pose. It's a hamstring stretch, and I'll give you a few tips. This can be done in a chair, again, if you have trouble getting up and down off the floor, and I'll show you that. So for this, you need some sort of strap or belt. You can use your bathrobe belt or, anything that's long enough for you to hold in both hands. You're going to keep one leg bent, the leg that you're not working, that foot on the floor. That's a good way to start. And then we're strapping the other foot. Now I've made a loop in this belt because it has a D-ring. You don't need a loop. If you don't have a loop, you'll just hold both ends of your strap. And so you're going to press your foot into the strap. And you want the strap to be on the arch of your foot and a little bit lower down toward the heel. We call it the head of the heel. You're going to squeeze your quadriceps to try to open the back of the knee, straighten the knee, and you'll feel the hamstring stretch there. Now, if you pull too tight so that your lower back presses into the floor, you're not going to get the full benefit of the stretch, but you want to try to keep your spine in neutral. So you see, I'm not flattening the low back to the floor, right? I'm kind of keeping that neutral spine. And the most important thing is to breathe. Go ahead and do this on both sides. Even if your sciatica is really acting up on one side, do it on both sides. And take 6 breaths, 9 breaths, and do it 2 or 3 times on each side. But counting your number of breaths is, that's a good way to time yourself. So 6 to 9 breaths, 2 or 3 times. So now I'll show a couple variations. The first is sitting in a chair. So you can try it this way. Again, if it's hard to get up and down off the floor. You can also do this lying in your bed, right? But you could hold the strap here. Again, sit nice and tall. That's keeping the pelvis straight. Right there, you see the sole of my foot. Right, and your leg might not go this high. I'm pretty flexible. Right, it might be here, and you might feel the stretch. So just to go to where you can. Another variation, if you have something to hold on to so you can balance, is just to put your foot on the chair. And then if you're not getting any stretch, lift up tall, bring your belly toward your thigh, and you will get stretch. So just to make sure that your balance that you have, that you're not going to fall over. Okay. Next is eye of the needle. And again, there are a couple variations that you can do here. Lie down again. You can also do this sitting, so I'll show you in the chair as well. And you're crossing your ankle over your knee with the knee bent. Now for some folks, and for you perhaps, this may be enough. You may feel it stretching your hip. You may just get like a book, a thick book or something to put under your other foot, and that may give you what you need to get the stretch. But just like with the big toe pose, if you press your low back into the floor, you're not going to get the stretch here in your hip. You want to keep your low back, you want to keep your back in neutral, and even tilt your pelvis forward, right? Even lift the low back away from the floor, and you'll get more stretch in the hip, where it's probably the piriformis or who knows, but the muscles that are squeezing that sciatic nerve, right? If you're flexible enough, you don't need the block. You can lift your foot completely away from the floor, and you're moving the bottom knee toward you and pressing this top knee away from you. Yes, remember to breathe. And then to get even more stretch, you move the legs toward that bottom leg. So again, 6 breaths, 9 breaths. Switch to the other side. 6 breaths, 9 breaths. Switch to the other side. Okay, 2 or 3 times on each side. Keep breathing. Remember to breathe. So this is the other way to do eye of the needle if you're not lying on the floor or in your bed. You can sit in a chair. Bring that foot up away from the floor, your knee toward your chest, and then cross that ankle over your bottom knee and bring your belly forward, tilt your pelvis forward, sit up nice and tall. Just doing that will give you the stretch, right? But if you're not feeling it, you can lean forward. Just don't go like this, because that won't help. You want to tilt the pelvis forward, lift, and then bring the belly toward the thigh. And breathe. Yeah, so good. All right, the last one is a cobra pose, and you may want a towel or a blanket, and I'll show you why. If you're very tight in the front, when you lie down, or if you have a belly, when you lie down on your belly, it may be uncomfortable. If you have a belly, you know, is going to push on your organs and won't be comfortable. Or if you're very tight in the front groin, the front of the hip, then you may need a little extra support. So I'm going to use a blanket because that's what I have. But again, you can use a towel or, you know, a little blanket that you have, and you'll fold it up and kind of roll it there. And then when you come down, you'll put the blanket under the hips, like that. Okay? You may not need this, but you may. So I'm going to move it out of the way. If it feels better for you, leave it there. The main thing to remember here in this pose, or this little exercise, is to keep your glutes completely relaxed. So you may notice when you lift up that you begin to grip the glutes. That's not what you want, because they're already tight. That's why they're pinching your sciatica. So stretch your legs back. Relax. Take a breath. Breathe out. And then lift your belly if you can. So if you sort of imagine pulling your belly up away from the floor, but without gripping your buttocks. So kind of lifting the belly away from the floor and then pressing up to stretch the belly and your back. Again, I'll show you what it looks like with gripping the glutes. We don't want to do that. No, relax. Just draw the belly in. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Take a couple breaths. And then come on back down. And you can do that, again, I would say at least twice and maybe 3 times, holding for 2 or 3 breaths or longer if it feels okay. Keep the glutes relaxed, keep breathing, keep the shoulders released away from your ears. That feels so good. All right, we'll do it one more time. Up. Remember to breathe. Okay. And release. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know how it goes. And good luck. Jai! Jai means victory.